And the recent winter snap caused havoc for millions of Americans this week.
Yes, it sure has. Near record low temperatures and a so-called bomb cyclone closed roads, highways and airports. But it also inspired some clever creations and crazy acts.
Who needs a thermometer to answer the age-old question, how cold is it? Cold enough for the Calgary Zoo to temporarily bring its penguins indoors before letting them out again. Cold enough to freeze a shark. At least 3 of them were found washed up on Cape Cod, likely stranded due to cold shock, noted the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy. They had to be thawed to be autopsied. A true shark sickle. How cold is it? Not cold enough at 6 below to deter a guy dressed as a banana from water skiing on the Mississippi, but definitely cold enough to generate internet memes. I'm not going outside until the temperature is above my age. Remember this trick from previous cold snaps? Turning boiling water instantly into snow is so last year. This is the year of
frozen bubbles.
Craig Bain created a perfect specimen at a temperature of minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit. In Saskatchewan, Canada, it has all the allure of a fragile homemade snow globe with over 4 million views.
It's crazy.
There's pretty much one basic recipe for making ice bubbles, and it doesn't involve using that store-bought bubble-blowing stuff. Another Canadian who has helped whip up hashtag Bubble Madness recommends warm water, corn syrup, dishwashing soap, and sugar. The corn syrup, what does it do?
It basically hardens it, gives it a little bit of structure, otherwise they just blow away.
And if you really want a snow globe effect, add a Christmas tree. So when the temperatures dip, just dip your straw and
start blowing.
We'll have to try that in winter. How beautiful.
That is incredible footage. I am obsessed with that. No wonder it's got 4 million views.
Start practicing for winter.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk more weather, and we're joined by Tristan Myers from Sky News Weather. I know you like the cold, Tristan, but would you like it that cold? I tell you what, well, in comparison, we've got the hot weather. Of course, the front moved through the southeast yesterday. A massive temperature drop for some regions, including Melbourne, but the heat is on across New South Wales and the ACT, quite serious as well.
Yeah, that's right. Today is going to be quite hot across all these areas. And compared to yesterday at this time, you can see the temperatures. Melbourne on 19, Adelaide on 19. It was 30 degrees at this time yesterday, so much cooler day. But it's heating up in New South Wales, already 25 in Sydney, western parts of New South Wales, well above 30 degrees. It's also quite a hot day in southeast Queensland. Brisbane's set to hit the low 30s, western parts of the Brisbane Valley, the mid-30s, so it's quite hot for many areas. But the heat is really on in western parts of the Sydney Basin and other areas in western New South Wales, where we're going to see 45-degree plus heat. That is absolutely exceptional. That is very, very hot. However, there is some slight relief on the way this afternoon. We're going to see a southerly change coming through. This is for Sydney region. See that temperature rising during the afternoon. Expected to hit 35 degrees by midday, but the southerly coming probably mid-afternoon, 2 to 3 o'clock. That'll cause those temperatures to plummet right back down to the mid-20s. Western parts of the Sydney Basin also expected to see a similar temperature change, and that is good news because it is hot, and that has also increased that fire danger, severe fire danger today for the Sydney region. But thankfully, that fire danger tempered across Victoria and South Australia. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about catastrophic extreme fire danger. That is not existing anymore. The winds are much lighter. It's much cooler. That fire danger has shifted to New South Wales, but it's not as intense. There's still a total fire ban in effect, however, for the Sydney Basin and the greater Hunter regions. Now let's take a look at those temperature forecasts, because today it is heating up. Western parts of Sydney, 45 degrees. Campbelltown, 42.
So we have the sweaty Penrith Panther boy today in 45-degree heat.
Not escaping the worst, but western parts of the escarpment region set to hit the high 30s or maybe even 40 degrees, and the central coast also getting up to 40 degrees. Newcastle probably around that 30-degree mark, but if you go into western parts of that greater Hunter region, such as Singleton, Cessnock, you're getting up to 45 degrees yet again. So there's that temperature forecast for the remaining capitals. Melbourne, 22 degrees, much cooler day as well in Hobart, 24, and Adelaide only on 28 degrees today.
Now, I want to talk about the northern parts of the country, but before I do, Tristan, just quickly, we mentioned yesterday that there were no lightning strikes with the change, which is a really important factor for potential bushfires. As that change moves through New South Wales, still no storms?
Yeah, it doesn't look too stormy with this change. No, it's so dry. It's very similar to what we saw yesterday. There's just not enough moisture to generate thunderstorms. There is a chance of thunderstorms in central and western New South Wales today, but it's fairly isolated, and the fire danger there isn't that high.
Okay. Now, getting back to the north, we've got that monsoon. Are we expecting some flooding rain? Because I think we've got some severe weather warnings.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. There's a severe weather warning out for northern parts of the country, including Darwin, and it's for heavy rainfall. Now, Darwin hasn't seen that heavy rain as yet, but taking a look at the radar imagery, it's just a matter of time before they get it. It's a monsoon low, so this is the wet season. We expect this, but it is going to come down pretty heavy at times. You can see we have bands of showers coming on shore just to the east of Darwin, around that Wadair region. Further to the south, we've seen some heavy rainfall, and notice how we're seeing some showers right now lining up for the Darwin areas. We've seen over 100 millimeters for some regions, but you can see Darwin only getting 5 millimeters. So that goes to tell you the isolated nature of the rainfall totals. But when it does come down, it's very heavy. Flash flooding is quite likely in this sort of a rainfall setup. We could also get some damaging wind gusts in any of those storms. That means gusts could exceed 90 kilometers an hour. So we're expecting a lot of rain, not just today, but over the next few days. And it does look like we'll see another low form within this trough and impact the Kimberley region a little bit later. So use the extended forecast Darwin. That is keeping those temperatures down for you, but you can see by Tuesday that temperature climbing, sun coming out a little bit more. Perth starting to heat up this week, and unfortunately that cool change in Sydney, still quite warm on Monday at 33 degrees, western parts of the basin still expected to hit at least 40.
But much relief for places like Melbourne, as you said, 22. What a difference to yesterday. And let's head to America, because we've been watching Storm Grayson, or a nor'easter, whatever you want to call it. It's been moving up and causing traffic delays, chaos, huge amounts of snow. And now we've got that wind chill coming through in behind it. So what's the latest with it, Tristan?
Yeah, well, it's just wind chill warnings now. So thankfully the worst of the weather is over. We don't have that widespread snowstorm, that huge tides that we saw due to that bombing low pressure system. It is all cleared. It's fairly far into the Arctic Sea there. We still do have some lake effect snow coming through. So if you're around Ohio region, there you're going to get some pretty heavy snowfall anywhere around that Great Lakes region.
So the Great Lakes, Ohio, the Cincinnati Bengal tiger boy, he's shivering today in deep lake effect snow.
What we have now is just that wind chill. There's wind chill warnings in effect between South Carolina and right up into Maine. So that's a huge chunk of the eastern seaboard. It also extends into the Ohio region. That means it's quite dangerous to stay outside for this long, because those forecast temperatures still very, very low and well below average, about 10 to 15 below the average. New York only a top temperature of minus 11 degrees today, and still cold in Chicago. Sunny, but still that wind chill having quite an effect. Top temperature of minus 10.
Ouch.
But that beautiful city that you call home, Tristan, LA, look at that, mate. 22 degrees. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world.
That's the main attraction of going to LA. The weather there just doesn't change. As soon as it rains, everyone goes absolutely insane. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, alerts everywhere. I've been there.
Drive in the rain.
There's 2 millimeters of rain. Stay indoors.
Just like Brisbane. Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan. If you want more weather, you can head over to channel 603. But gee, it's just been intense, hasn't it, with that the system moving through yesterday. Now all eyes focused on New South Wales with that heat. 45 degrees for western parts of Sydney. That is extremely hot. And as we mentioned, we say it all the time, but keep your pets hydrated, keep yourselves hydrated, and the elderly, and also with that air pollution as well. So if you're an asthmatic or have respiratory system problems, then certainly there's something to watch out for.
It'll be interesting as well to see what they do at the cricket today. I remember being in Melbourne for the Australian Open and covering that for Sky News, and it was hot, and the heat policy is enforced. The cricket will be very interesting as well. I've been asked a few times already, what do they do over the course of the day? More drinks breaks.
And the Sydney International starts today as well.
Absolutely.
In Western Sydney, so it's going to be very, very hot indeed.
Yes, we'll have more on that situation, plus the developments overseas. Tale of two hemispheres, really, isn't it, this time of year? Great to have your company here on Sunday Edition. We will check the top stories after the break, plus
Cambodian Authority.
So you probably didn't see this, but, and he didn't mention it, but yesterday, out in the Indian Ocean, well to the west of Australia, way out west of Australia, well out in the Indian Ocean, Tropical Cyclone Irving formed. So that was yesterday, the 6th of January. And as soon as this disappears, maybe I can quickly show you.
This trough and impact the Kimberley region a little bit late.
So way out there, way out behind the list of capital cities. You've got tropical cyclone Irving right now. And since
So
Irving,
use the extended forecast.
Irving formed on January 6th, and I would put money now on Riley, tropical cyclone Riley, being the one to watch for this season. And I would go with the date, Friday, 9th of March, 2018. Because that's my best friend's birthday. And it just seems to fit. So that's where my money is. And so yeah, the Cincinnati Bengal Tigers, definitely shivering today. More than -10 is just too cold. And the Penrith Panther Boy, 45 degrees Celsius. Talk about extremes. That's crazy extremes. And that is what's happening on Sunday, January 7th, 2018.